Hello, traders. We are right in the beginning of London pre-market. New York time, 2 a.m. Right there. This was a breaker from when we pushed all the way down past through this daily low. And we came down, we made a higher low here, and then we pushed up. We took liquidity here and then tried to push lower. Got back to the high of the opening range candle. And then this little consolidation here got me a little bit worried. I did get in a crude trade probably a little early, but if you look at crude since the open, it has fallen way down. I'll cut it over here. It's fallen way down. The normal movement for crude on any given day is about $2.50. And we've fallen from the open here. We went all the way up to 65, and now we're sitting at 61.73. So we're over $3. Now, I probably got in a little too early on this one, and I need to get out of it just to preserve my profit. I am below the breaker, but I don't like the way this thing is just rocketing down. And the London opening candle is right there, this one right here. So we could take out the low of that opening range candle and then still continue up. Now, ES does look like it's doing what I want it to do now. So I'm going to go ahead and get back in on just one of these because it's been so volatile. Maybe about half of that candle. Hopefully it'll pull back that far and get me back in. I really don't want to lose that money on crude, but it happens. I got in too early on crude. I got in when it started, hit round number and started back up. I thought that was the pullback that we were looking for. But obviously I was wrong, which I am a lot. When you're trying to anticipate these things, the way I look at it is I'm betting $50 on it. I got 4 swings of the bat, and one of those 4 swings is gonna get me good. So it did not fill me here. Does that mean I chase? I think it does. We got a fair value gap. How about? I'm just gonna. I think it already did its messing around, so I'm just gonna try to mark it in there. Basically, mark it in there. If we fall back to 81, I'm in trouble. But I think we're going to round number here. Minimum round number. Crude is rejecting off of the opening range candle here right now anyway. Doesn't mean it will continue. I would expect it to take out the low of that candle right there. It may even revisit these lows, but we came down, made that low, went up, ranged a minute, came down again, higher low, higher low, higher low, ripped up the round number, left this liquidity. So it has potential to go, I would think, at least half of what it's taken, which would put us up here in this range here. And that would be pretty good. And if it starts heading that way nicely, I will add to this position. But it does need to start heading that way. Now with ES, that's an obvious recent swing high. Hopefully it'll get there. I even like this one here too, but that one to me is the most recent swing high. I'm going to try for that. Now, if it will give me some evidence that it's not just going to range here, like if we start pushing up even higher, I will also add one more over here. 2 ES is my normal position, but we've been so volatile. 1 is all I can handle. It'll take off 5 points. It'll pull back 5 points with just the snap of fingers. It's already done it from where I entered almost. $25 right there. That would stop me out. Boom, I'm done. 50 bucks gone. So I'm only doing 1 in hopes that it will maintain a direction instead of being super high resistance like it's being right now. It's definitely wanting to be high resistance. But the the PD array is right. The only thing that's not right is we're not leaving town. These right here looks like relative equal lows. So I would think it's highly likely that we revisit them. But I hope we do it during a New York session and not during London. Now that I'm in this trade on both sides, I'm going to put on a 15-minute candle chart because there's no reason. Whenever you're watching the 1-minute chart, all it does is stress you out. And so from this 15-minute perspective, we pushed up here, we came back half of it. Back to the breaker, we have not taken that high right there. Where my take profit is would be at this most recent swing high. But it may not work out. It may just chop around right here. Where I got in, I was expecting it to continue to run. So this pullback right here, to me, is something I did not want to see. And I may go ahead and take this one off. Pulling back to half of this green candle would be expected. When we go on runs up or down, we typically do half candle pullbacks. Unless they're really aggressive, and then we'll do like 25% pullback. So coming back to here is a probable spot. I don't want it to. Now for this one, it pulled back way further than I expected. And it's got me worried. We may go back into that range. I don't know if watching a 15-minute candle dance is any different than watching a 1-minute candle dance, but it doesn't seem as bad. We actually opened here, pushed down, took out that low, and then went up to settlement and then fell out of bed. The other indexes do have some more relatively close low-hanging fruit. If you look at the daily chart in crude, this is the biggest one-day drop we've had, I think. The ATR, no, I don't want to do that one. I want to do this one. From the high to the low, we're looking at $3.50 roughly. So if we do one of these, the largest candle here, right there to the low, it's $3.30. Both of those are outside the normal range. There's actually an indicator called ATR, average true range. and it'll tell you how much it normally moves in a day. And it's moved that way one direction. Let's see if I can find it. Average true range right there. Okay, so here, average true range is right around $2.08. So it's already exceeded its daily range. It's taken out this daily low, filled in this fair value gap. Probability of going back up at least halfway is definitely there. This position over here on ES is doing nothing but make me angry. It looks like crude is dipping below 80. This may be a loser. All we can do is do our trade setup, and I'm not perfect enough to get a zero drawdown entry. This definitely is the setup. It just pulled back a little further than I expected. And it may continue down. It may go to $50 a barrel. You never know. That's the uncertainty you have to become comfortable with if you're going to be a trader. And if you want to bet the farm on this and buy a huge contract, you'd already be down 230 bucks. And that's not something I'm interested in either. I am completely underwhelmed at the speed of this move. The only thing I like about it is I haven't been stopped out yet. When you look at that chart and you see this is the high of that opening candle, the first minute candle for London. We tapped it. We also revisited the breaker, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. I can see no reason why we won't go and take this high. Now with crude on a 15 minute, we could just go take this one and then range here at the bottom for a long time. Or we could go take the high of this 15-minute range eventually. Possibly even this one. That number right there was the number that stuck out to me, 63.50. Because 50 is a psych level. Will we get all the way back up to where we closed at 65.71? That'd be a $3 sell-off and a return. From a 4-hour candle perspective, this would be our low-hanging fruit. We're almost back to 62 on crude. That's an important level as well. I'm really not liking the way the equities are behaving here lately. They're just so high resistance. They give you a little hope, and then they pull right back. They give you a little more hope, and then they pull right back. The setup's good. This should work. See what crude looks like on that smaller time frame now. Okay, so we made a breaker, came back down, made a higher low, made above the breaker, nice push up, nice push back down. We pulled away with a fair value gap. This should work. When I see this PD array, it works. At least 80% of the time, it's going to work. To at least the most recent swing high, which will be right there. I'm going to aim for the 4-hour high because it's a likely level. ES is teasing us again. It looks like it's going to get back to my entry. I wonder what its 4-hour looks like. We aim for the 4-hour high on it. We're right at 4-hour half candle there. A little bit back above the halfway mark. We pulled back 75. Well, we opened 75%. So if we did that, and then make it take that 4-hour high instead of the most recent swing high, that'd be a little bit more money. So crude hit round number, pull back into the fair value gap. Not looking good for crude. This one is looking good. We are breaking above. And so I am going to go ahead and add one more over here. I'll try to get in right where I am. There's a volume imbalance right there. I'll try to just add one more contract to it there. It did a half candle. Now you're going to stop the high resistance. Now we got another fair value gap. I'm going to put it right there, one tick above. And that'll be a retest of this wick right here too. So maybe we should do half wick, like right there, 93. We'll just leave it there. We got money coming in right now. half candle runs. I'm not going to get another contract into this mix, am I? Maybe I will. Crude's looking a little more bullish. Hit round number, pulled back. Got an alert. The New Zealand dollar just took out its 4-hour low. London actually opens in 3 minutes. London pre-market low is down here, right there at that candle. We could take it before moving any higher. I wouldn't expect it to with this, the way the market's pushing up, but we could, in which case I would get stopped out. I'm going to go ahead and kill this one for sure, just in case it rips lower. London Open can look just like the New York Open. It can get a little crazy. I'll probably kill it before it actually happens. 158. I'll give it a couple more candles, see if it'll take round number. Maybe not expect it to go any higher than that right there, or maybe even round number. Maybe it leaves that high and pulls back, and we just take round number, maybe. We just took the high of that range, and now we're pulling back again. I don't know. No risk. One thing about trading these micros, you don't have to make your $200 or whatever it is you're trying to make all at once. You can make it $10 at a time, do 20 trades, or you can make it like I got right now, $22. London's about to open, crazy stuff might happen. I could go ahead and take this off. See how much time we got there. Okay, there's London's open right there. This is the opening candle for London. So I'm going to go ahead and preserve some of this profit. There's $11. And I'll take $11. Crude's looking nice. Back to round number again. If it can make a new high, we may be in business here. London open, so far I like it. I don't like that one. Don't like that candle. Why didn't it keep going? Let's let that candle finish. 10 seconds. Now we have a London opening range candle. We can mark it out. The upper line is going to be considered a bullish trend, bullish line, and then the lower line will be bearish. Of course, we want to see it stay above, go above, retest that upper line like it did in pre-market. Crude is already below its opening candle, so it could revisit the low of the day here. Should I give it more opportunity to run or take the profit right there? I'll just trail. And just see how it reacts when it takes that high right there. It could go on a really nice run here. But round numbers usually where I take it off. And just see what happens next. Yeah. Back to the open, retest. That was a touch of the high of the open there. Come on, go on a run here. Go on a nice run here. Back to round number. If it can make a new high on that candle, then we're good. If not, I'm just going to take it, let it take it off right where it is. Crude took out this low. Now it's pushing higher. That's what I want to see. Okay, so that one went ahead and got us out. And that's okay. That's London's opening. It should take this and then go higher, but it could go all the way to pre-market low. Which we already determined is all the way down here. Yeah, that's pre-market low right there. At this point, when you see a breaker form, like getting back in here, like you could, but when it takes this high, something's going to happen. It's going to react in some way or another. It could go on a run here and we miss it, but we'll get another pullback, another opportunity. If you're just jumping in, jumping out, jumping in, jumping out all the time, you're gonna make a bad click, and it's gonna cost you that stop loss, whatever your stop loss is. So we caught a good portion of that run to this high, and we're just gonna see what happens next. I may be like kicking myself, but we're right at the London Open, and it can get lots of ups and downs. As you can see with crude, we went up, right back down. Okay, so we didn't really react to this high or that high. We'll react to one of them. I want to see it make a hard push down and fail. maybe even all the way down into this consolidation here. I think this crude trade's not going to work out. This push should have continued up. We don't need to revisit the breaker 500 times. Maybe better to go ahead and take my loss, wait for a better opportunity. Or make a new low of day. It's also quite possible. Put more risk on? Nah, not doing that. So we did get a reaction at this high. I think we took that high too. And we did get a reaction there. These regular trading hours tomorrow will come into play, because if you look at it with regular trading hours only on, none of this has ever happened. Everything we're seeing right now hasn't even happened. So that's why I'm leaving those on there. We're way the heck up here. Regular trading hours. And right now we're trading down at 69. Okay, so it could go up here, and then when New York opens, come down, take these levels again, and then start working its way back up or continue down. Not sure which. I hope that doesn't mean I got stopped out over here. I may have. Oh, I'm still in it. Definitely got a reaction at that high. Coming back to round number. What I did on crude here was I got in at round number thinking it would be our bounce point, and you can see what happened there. So I'm not going to do the same thing over here. Let's put on a 15-minute candle. Okay, so these wicks show that we have high resistance. Okay, so we went up, we took that one, and then now we're pulling back half of the candle, maybe even more, maybe even get into this one. And this one just looks like a choppy mess. 15-minute candle. I think ES is going to be okay, but I want to see it try to push down. I want to see it take out this low right here, that London opening low, and then fail. Just absolutely, I can't, I'm exhausted. I cannot go any lower. Crude kind of did a little push there, like it was going to go higher, and then rip back down. Toying with me. It looks like London's really going to push here on the ES. or a range. I won't be in another one of these until we attempt to push lower. This is a pretty solid run up without a whole lot of attempt to push lower except right here. But if it runs along without me, that's fine. I'll get my money in New York when it comes back down to this area. Or maybe on the way back down to this area. Or maybe we're looking at the low of the day right now. You never know. But since I started my trading journey, I've dealt a lot with maybes. And like I might click here thinking, well, maybe it'll go a little higher. And I'm trying to get away from that and simply read the price action and say, okay, this chart is showing a bullish reversal, or this chart is showing a bearish reversal, and take what I think might happen completely out of the equation. This crude chart is showing a 15-minute range. We did take the low of the 15-minute range. Now I'd like to see us take the high of the 15-minute range and then continue up to these highs here and possibly that high, or ideally here. There's also relative equal lows right there on the 15-minute that could definitely fall. London Open was kind of a nothing burger. Made a little push up, and now we've just stalled. I call them the London Bridge building son of guns. Yeah, we didn't even take that high right there. Crude a lot of times will move in 25-cent increments when it does its little ranges. So like 62.25 round number, 61.75, 62.50, 61.50. See, we went to 61.50 here, and that's where we rejected. So if we do go back up, any of those levels where we see a wick, like right here, 75 would be an area where you could target. I think I'm going to go ahead and leave the crude trade running. I had no intention of being up at 2 o'clock in the morning Texas time taking trades or live streaming, but I just happened to wake up and check my phone, and it showed that one of my levels had gotten hit, so I just came in here to take a peek. And the crude PD array is not all that impressive right now. I mean, we are respecting the breaker. We have made higher lows. We did make an attempt to push down and fail to go any lower. So the potential is there for this one to do something, but it may take till 8 o'clock tomorrow morning for it to actually do something. And to have a live stream run all the way till then, I'm not doing it. I'm going to bed so I can be fresh for New York session. But you can see the date down here, the time of day. New York time, 3:15 a.m. on the 2nd of February. So you can see all that, and then you'll be able to tell by looking at the chart whether or not we are able to. I think that 4 hour high is just going to have to be our low hanging fruit here. I mean, I would love to see it go to the midway point of here at least. But I may just need to take off. If we get to the midway point, that'll be $150. So that's a 3-to-1 risk reward ratio, a nice risk to reward. I am not going to add another contract onto here just because I'm going to be snoozing. But I do like the setup, the potential of it going back up here is really high. And considering we closed here, that wouldn't even be halfway to where that we closed. Closed right there, all the way to halfway point. Yeah, we're right at it. Yeah, that's halfway to from to the close. That'd be a half gap fill right there. I like that. Uh, I like that. Since I did make a mistake on the entry, I might try. Yeah, I was thinking I might try getting out and then putting another order at round number, and that would, but it's only going to make about $7 difference. So maybe not, and we may just range here. But I do like that it's pushing back up. Maybe the best thing to do would be to get out and wait till tomorrow. It's one of those coin flippers. Do we range here the rest of the night? Do we take out my stop and I wake up $50 poorer? Or do we go up here and I wake up $150 richer? Taking back half that run is very, very likely. ES is making a push. the way that crude is taking all of these fair value gaps back tells me that it's probably just going to range here a while. It took out that wick. Now we pull back to middle of the range. Will it take out these? Possibly. Yes, took that high. Now can we get a pullback? We're not going to get a pushback down. These are nice to get in on. But chasing them, waiting for a pullback's better. Holding my other one would have been the best scenario. That way I didn't have any loss on it, but round number is a bounce point. It will usually drop at round number. The only time it doesn't drop at round number is if I'm waiting for it to do it to get in a position. If I'm already in a position, it will drop like a rock and stop me out at break even. That's what I've noticed. So I usually have just a general rule: when it gets to a round number, I take my trade off and then I wait to see what happens next. Because oftentimes it will revisit that number. If you look at the dome or the DOM, however you want to call it, a lot of times it will have a lot of orders sitting at round number. We can look at that. Round number 6,900 even right here. So yeah, we have nearly 1,200 orders sitting there. Have already been placed there. This is the actual tape. Shows how many orders have been placed there. So if it goes back there again, then it maybe it adds a couple of contracts or a whole bunch of contracts. You never know how much it's going to add. Crude seems to be real happy in this range. So I'm going to go ahead and leave the trade on, and I may get spanked, but I just don't see any point in making y'all suffer through. This is half of the move of the night. That's where my take profit is. 3-to-1 risk reward. If you do the whole risk reward thing, I think all those numbers are good. It's also the halfway point of the 4-hour candle pushing down. I think that's a fair place, reasonable place to take profit. And the equities, you could try to anticipate, okay, well, maybe we pull back half of this run and put an order there, a limit order if you wanted to, but I'm not going to do it. It could come all the way back down to here or here. That's what I would like to see. I'd like to see it come all the way back down to the pre-market low, respect that breaker, and then go start running more highs up here. Crude's pushing. I'm not almost back to even for a minute. Took the high of that 15-minute range, pulled back. One thing about crude, when it does start going that direction, it will usually do it pretty rapidly. It's a good thing about trading it. Once you're in, I would have preferred a better entry, to be honest. But if I would have gotten in down here, I would have, or I would be sitting up already, $30. I could even move my stop to break even and then let it do what it wants to do. See, ES is just not really pulling back much at all. Just grinding higher and higher. In a high resistance fashion. This area right here would be a spot to revisit for sure. Possibly even down here. I would think that's probably going to be a kind of a line in the sand on the downside if we are going to push higher. But left a little money on the table there. I think I'm going to call it right there, folks. I may try to live stream a little bit in New York, depending on how I'm feeling. I'm wide awake, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. I feel like I can read the market well. I might try to bird dog a reversal pattern for you. You remember when we were talking about reversal patterns, we do like to see this push up for sure. We like to see liquidity left above, and then we like to see a push, a valiant effort, not just little wicks here and there, but a valiant effort to push lower. And then it'll stop and make fair value gaps to the other direction. And then we can address this high as a possible, or maybe even higher areas as a possible point of contention up there. The crude did that. So we went up and we pushed back down here, made that higher low. We made a hard push up, a pretty good effort to go lower, failed, still making higher lows, and now we're pushing up. So the smart thing to do would be to aim for this liquidity right here. Just grab your money and get out, because it does not have to continue up. This could just be the high of the 15 range and then comes right back down. But being that we're beyond average true range, I like that halfway pullback. All right, that's it. I'm really going to end it now. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.